Aloha, it's Dan McDonald here. Oh, I'd really love a few moments of your time if you've got it. I promise that you will go away a more enlightened person from this video. I've got my green juice, so we're gonna have the green juice mukbang today. I'll start right off. I posted this recipe on Facebook, it went viral. Everyone should be drinking green juice every day. And I'll tell you why. Okay, at first I thought, over the years, and of course, I don't need to mention this, but I've been on YouTube a long time and I'm an open book and I love being authentic and real, and I'd rather just you and I be friends than me having to come up here and put on a big show and all that. So over the years, of course, I've been, accused of a great many things, which is fine. That's always projection. That's why I don't accuse anyone of anything, and I just go look at the man in the mirror and say, how are you going to change the world today, mister? Because when you change yourself, you change your perception, and then the whole world changes. And then you don't necessarily see all the problems, but you become more solution-oriented. So this is a solution-oriented video for the people who are, because you know what it is. It's like, I see it every day. I see a lot of it. Cancer, is one of the huge things. Autism, huge. Alzheimer's, huge. Diabetes, huge. Obesity, huge. I think we're all in agreement that our health is continuing to get worse. Now, there's many, many reasons for that. We're not blaming any one particular entity in society, but we're going to have to look at ourselves collectively. And then what we do is we take responsibility for our own personal choices. What I want to do is start a video show on YouTube talking about how you can improve your life using the medicines that are available to us through nature and applying natural laws, which have totally been forgotten, totally swept under the carpet, and have been totally brainwashed right out of us through the amazing technology that's available to those who would benefit by having you be less aware of what you can do to become the powerful and radiant creator that you are and were always meant to be. So what we've got right now are our health issues, which are just plummeting through the floor. I see it all day, every day. But I did get a letter, and I know that every once in a while I do lose hope, because the vast majority don't seem to be able to resonate with this message, at least at the intensity with which I'm displaying it. That being said, for me, health is really important. Being happy, being clear, and having energy, and making sure that I don't spend any days, feeling unwell. So I've had to really up my game in a society that allows mediocrity as the norm. In order for me to reach and feel my own personal excellence, I've had to devise programs and strategies in this modern world with all the chemicals, all the toxins, and all the brain programming that allows me to thrive. So I live on the island of Kauai, so I definitely have a distinct advantage, but I guess I wasn't doing as well on the mainland when you saw me last, but I did need a place to go and heal. You may need to go find yourself a place to heal. You may need to create a sanctuary somewhere for you in your life. You may need to make some differences. And what you'll find as you continue on the path of the living foods lifestyle, which is obviously, without a doubt, the most obvious thing that you can do in this modern day and age, is to eat the food that you're designed to eat, and eat it in a way that is coherent and in harmony with nature. In fact, with all of its elements intact. So I just made this juice 8 minutes ago, and I was like, I need to just make a video talking about this green juice, because right now, so all the gases and all the elements and all the enzymes and the frequency of this living water is at its peak. If I let this sit in the fridge for 30 minutes, it would be less. If I let it sit in the fridge for 24 hours, it would be substantially less. I'm not saying I wouldn't drink this tomorrow, 24 hours later, and it would be better than a cheeseburger, or even still have great alkalizing and hydrating principles. But it's better to drink it right away, because it's the living hydrogen, which is the absolute number one antioxidant in the world in your blood. And so you've got a lot of toxins in your society. It's in the water, it's in the air, it's in the food. So basically you're saturated with it every day. It's in the hair care products, it's in the beauty products, it's everywhere. And so what you're having is a chemical saturation. Better living through chemistry, my friends, is bullshit. It ain't gonna happen. The chemistry of the grass and the trees and the fruit and the air and the stardust that left the stars 10 million years ago coming down, bouncing off the planet and up into your nose, that's your living life force energy. The issue with these here are the chelators and the antioxidants inside the green juice, which is going to purify your blood and neutralize all the waste matter that is just clogging you up and causing you to have depression. And then you can start, as you start clearing the fog from your brain, you can start working on some of the and being clear on some of the reasons why you're creating these emotional challenges in your life, because it does take a while to get out of victim mentality. You think it's someone else's fault. The Chinese are doing it to us. George Bush is doing it to us. Blame these people, blame the terrorists. But really, you can't really blame anyone for the way that you see the world. But you have to, if you take responsibility, you can start to make a major difference, and you can start using these medicines and these lifestyle practices, which is like the ultimate lifestyle, basically. The way that I live, only saying that it's the only thing that really works for me. The living foods, the fitness, making sure I get to sleep on time, drinking pure water, eliminating people out of my life that just don't bring any love and support, and just cutting that off and moving in another direction happily. I'm a free spirit, so I'm a little bit more apt to do that than a lot of people that get stuck in these funky relationships and patterns because they're lacking the awareness. But the awareness will come with the living foods. Okay, so I imagine me being the businessman that I am, it'd be a good time for me to mention the 30-day Living Foods Transformational Program, which I designed, and I've been pumping the hell out of it for the last week because there's only 3 more days left to get that at half price. But that is a guide for the most basic, foundational living foods lifestyle, but I've included all the other lifestyle adjuncts in it with the colonics and the essential oils and everything that you can do in this society. Tons of great information, 15 years of knowledge and experience, which I'm sharing with you here on this video. The green juice, Mukbang. There's a link down below to pick that up. There's also an epic contest. A lot of people are excited. Support videos are coming to help you to stay motivated on this program. And another thing I wanted to mention to all the people that are the contest participants, that Detox Mastery would be a really great DVD, or actually an online class now, to help to support you if you want to jump up a few notches from the daily menu plan, the 30-day menu plan. Boom, boom, boom. Get the Detox Mastery, watch that, and just go all the way up to level 3, Master, and just go right onto the liquids. So that's true for everyone. The other thing that's so cool about the recipe book that's included with the 30-day Living Foods Transformational Program is that there's about 100 juices in there. So you're never going to get tired. Now me, I kind of drink the same thing every day because it's so epic, it's all I need. It's a coconut-based cucumber, cilantro, lemon, and lime. And that's just hydrating, alkalinizing, detoxifying, and that's what you're going to need to do if you want to get rid of cancer, if you want to get the heavy metals out of your brain and avoid Alzheimer's disease, if you want to get your pancreas working right, you avoid all the complex starchy carbohydrates. The cooked carbohydrates is a bunch of bull crap. You're never going to get to the highest levels of energy and consciousness when you're eating starches. It's just not going to happen. Starches are 10,000 years old. Fruits and herbs are millions of years old. Who are you going to believe, nature or the latest doctor who's got a wonderful little program to sell you? Now, I got a program to sell you, but I'm not a medical doctor, so I get to go straight to nature, straight to the cosmic truths, pull those out of the ether and share those with you, because I have no status quo, no one to live up to, and I also have no medical debt. I got my education throughout the years because I wanted to, online. I went to classes. Some of my best friends are the greatest healers that mankind has ever known. Tavis, Robert Morse, Lou Corona, boom. I get to spend all kinds of time with these guys, blasting my own head with their knowledge, and then I get to take my own way and use these tools to help myself in my own way. And I have a different, all of them are really different, but there's a similarity into it, and I'll tell you what the secret is. The secret is allowing just being supportive of the divine intelligence within you. Okay, so using a pill or getting one of your organs cut out is not trusting in the divine intelligence that keeps your heart beating and your lungs breathing 24/7, 365 from birth until death, and keeps the planet at the perfect distance from the sun. 1 inch closer, we burn. 1 inch further away, we freeze. Yet this divine intelligence has allowed the planet to stay in a perfect distance away in order for us to live. We are beings of light. So that's why I just live on a liquid diet. And I've had a lot of flack, but you know what? I see how all the people who gave me flack are totally losing their minds, living in a Jerry Springer drama factory, while I'm actually helping people to cure themselves of cancer, while I simultaneously take myself to levels that I had only dreamed of. But each and every day I wake up and I've had a lot of states of bliss in my heart. I got my heart to open up through doing the emotional work, by getting my mind clear and just turning down all the pleasures of the world, which turn out to be dust in the wind, so that I could overflow my cup with joy. Now simplicity and meeting the minimal of my needs without having excessive desires for all these things on planet Earth. As soon as you start eating all the cooked food, your body cells start to die. And if that cooked food and those dead foods are killing your body, it's also killing your soul. It's killing your soul's expression. It's time for Dan McDonald to speak the truth, so that 1 or 2 very rare individual souls who are going to actually get this can transition into a higher level of consciousness and be free. I will never be the most popular dude. Truth is not popular. We want to hear what we want to hear. We want everyone to tell us what we believe, and we don't want to break out of the politically correct prison that we live in. But you'll never get happy, and you'll never get free, and you'll never cure yourself of diseases unless you learn about laws, natures, the natures of or the law of nature, and learn to live in reverence with that. It's not like the scientists. People are like, Dan McDonald, you're bro science. It's like, I'm not going to sit around and wait for science to catch up to where I'm at. They're way the hell back there, sorry to say, but science is of the intellect. And when you're awake and aware and living in a state of love, then you're beyond the intellect into a more nonlinear world, there's no doubt, of just truth, which really can't always be quantified. You know what I'm saying? I mean, quantum physics is beginning to be able to explain to you how you're collapsing the field down into your own consciousness and creating your own reality. But we're still quite a long ways off from the understanding collectively of the divine silence, which radiates forth, that brings joy and bliss and peace divine. So that you can understand that the whole world is just dust in the wind. So you're here and it's like this epic thing, and you just have this amazing woman, and you have a great relationship with your children, and you have amazing business and great business partners, and you never have to wear shoes, and you get to have no shirt, and you still make life the way you want it, like I did. And I can teach that. I can teach people how to make their life the way they want it, and I can give you permission to do that. Because I do that. Because I said, when I was about 21 years old and living on the street, I was having this conversation with this young person. They were like, oh, I'm homeless. Can you spare me some money? It's so sad. I'm like, I'll give you money, bro, but it's not really that sad. You're choosing to do this. Because I was homeless too at the time. But I always stayed clean. I always had everything more than what I needed, but I was free. Because I didn't want to be on the slave-to-slave program. So I'd either sleep here and there, or I had a van a few times, and I'd just live in a van. And I was free, and I chose freedom. And I knew then and there that freedom is number one. I don't lose that to no one or no thing, anywhere, at any time. It's not worth it, because then you're choking off and you're dying. If you're not free, you're dying. And you can get free in here. You could be anywhere. You could be in a prison. You can be in a prison in, you know, I don't know where the worst prisons would be, Colombia or something, you know, and you can still be free. That's the highest level of freedom, knowing what you really are throughout the ages of eternity. And that is what keeps coming into this consciousness as this one purifies even more. Because I know, like I started out this video, I've had a lot of flack over the years. Dan McDonald's too intense, or it's too extreme, or anything like that. It's like, no. Dan McDonald is on point, because mediocrity is simply not my thing. And if that's your thing, and you want to just stay down with all the heavy cooked foods and go with the status quo and just sell your little video views because it's a lot easier for people and they can relate to it, that's fine. But you're not speaking the highest truth. because the highest truth is the highest vibration of the fruits and the herbs on the tree. The cucumbers that came off the ground yesterday that have all that electromagnetic energy is bursting forth. Electricity and magnetism, and it's just alive. And then I put that through the juicer and I drink it right into my bloodstream. And then I breathe in the fresh air, and then I purify my lungs, and I keep my cells cleansed because I'm chelating, because all the heavy metals and stuff that are in the air from all the chemtrails, and then all the crap that's in the water that you bathe in and breathe and drink and make your soup in, and it has a lot of earthy deposits, and then you leave a lot of calcium and lime, and then you get all these calcium deposits, and then there's the parasites and the viruses that come from the meat and the sushi and the excessive decomposing waste matter in your colon from eating cooked foods, because you've already cooked it and now it's decomposed and dead, and so all you have in your microbiome is microorganisms that are pathogenic, and your mind never gets right. And then you think, wait a minute, who's the crazy one? You know what I'm saying? The dude who's like totally, basically consciously choosing to love God all day, every day, because everything else just pales in comparison. And that journey to the other side of the shore, where all the religions are talking about, that's the journey, you know, to sail to the other shore, to go where the kingdom of heaven is within you, to wake up, to be on the path, to awaken to the eternal truth that you are, and so that you can embody that 100% and be grounded in eternal spirituality. That's what I'm talking about. And for me, it all does start with the living temple being purified by the fruits and by the green juices. The fruit is the great food, the nourishing, satisfying, high water, high fiber, pass right through, don't leave anything behind. But if you want to carb up with like rice and noodles and stuff like that, you are going to have a clogged colon, and you are going to have festering black. A buddy of mine did a 8-day coconut water cleanse, and out comes black death. Another buddy of mine was doing coconut water and enzymes, black death. That was after being raw and vegan and having done 100 days of juice cleansing already. Then when he did the coconut water fast and the enzymes, boom, black death coming out of people, okay? And I'm talking about thick, rubbery, mucoid plaque, because it's a protective mechanism that your body throws up. Your immune system is always trying to protect itself from the cigarette smoke, from the alcohol, from the chemicals, from the carbon monoxide, okay? And all those chemicals and all that black soot in the air living in New York City. Tavis is like, there's more cigarette smoke here than there is oxygen. He can't wait to come home. He calls me every other day. I say, bro, here's my aloha. I'm not going anywhere. You know, I made this my life. Not everyone can just up and move to Hawaii. I get it, but everyone can drink the green juice and get the organic produce and educate your mind on this stuff. Because it's like once you get it, you're able to keep your blood clean. You're able to get to bed early. You're able to find the right kinds of water at the right time. I use a combination of distilled water and pure spring water. And I structure the water with prayer. I use the lemon drops, or I'll use crystal energy. And I'll just structure the water so that it keeps the, you know, you don't want to drink tap water, that's for sure. You know what I'm saying? Because there's a lot of weird stuff in there that hardens up your pineal gland, and you can't. The rest of your glandular system is affected. And the same thing with the cooked food. The same thing with more heavier vegetables, even. That's why the fruit and the nuts are the food, and the herbs, especially in the form of juice, get them right into your blood. Save yourself the fiber. I know it's a whole thing, and you need your fiber. And that's true. You do need some fiber. There's no doubt. But people are focused on fiber so much, it's like, well, okay, how much fiber is in a bagel? Well, there's 5 grams of fiber in a bagel. Well, there's also 5 grams of fiber in a, you know, or there's 12 or 13 grams of fiber in a papaya. But what kind of fiber is it? And what kind of effect does it have on your system? You know what I mean? It's it's the dead fiber from the dead bread and the dead rice and the dead corn, and there's no fiber in animal products, you know. So you do need some fiber, but really what you are is a breathing machine more than anything else. I know I might have talked for God knows how long to tell you the only thing you need to know is what kind of oxygen are you breathing. The one thing no one ever talks about. What is the quality of the air that you're breathing? What kind of ozone is there? What kind of ions are in that air? What's the concentration of oxygen to everything else that's going on with all the cars and all the industry and all the chemtrails? And what are you doing inside your house? Do you have plants inside your house? Do you have a air purifier on every level of your house to purify that stuff? Although all the aluminum is nanoparticulate, so it doesn't even really matter. You've got to be chelating all day, every day, and flushing the system and neutralizing the acid waste with hydrogen and oxygen and chlorophyll and minerals and frequency so that your body can stay in a high electrical charge and displace all that stuff so that it comes out your urine, so that it comes out your sweat, so that it comes out your feces. But it's getting trapped in everyone. That's the cellulite, that's the overweight, big bellies. I said on a video today that I made earlier for the Insiders Club or something, but there's prolapsus in everyone, and it's like if you get on the rebounder, you won't have that. Your organs will be up where they're supposed to be, but most human beings with the cooked food constantly, it's prolapse and it's hanging down, and it's just hanging down low. But you don't want that, so you get an inversion table and you hang upside down and you learn to do yoga for free anywhere on the grass, and you learn to do headstands and you learn to do inversions, and you bounce on the rebounder for 20 minutes, 30 minutes, or if you really want to accelerate the thing, is 1 hour. I made a video on Facebook talking about fitness. I talked about a lot of other weird stuff too, crazy stories, kind of like I do on this thing, rapping a mile a minute, just doing my own thing, because I'm channeling. And what I had to do is I got really frustrated yesterday because I'm so envious of all these YouTubers that are like, hi, today we're going to talk about one thing, and they keep it on there for 10 minutes. But then there's Dan McDonald, who talks a mile a minute, because I'd like to cram more information into a shorter video, into these videos, than anybody else on planet Earth. And I also just channel like what needs to be brought through that day. So I'm accepting myself as I am, which has been a hard part, because a lot of people are more left brain and linear, or I'm more of a just get on here and just kind of flow. So I'm accepting myself, and I feel like that's where the best information comes through, because you're planting these seeds. And if you just keep showing up to these videos, and see, now the structure is definitely over there with my team with their left brains. They helped me to structure the whole 30-day Living Foods transformation program and laid it all out. Because otherwise I get up here and just say, drink a lot of green juice, but that's all you really need to know. Drink green juice and go find the freshest air you can. Get away from traffic. Go sit near a waterfall, a river, a lake, the ocean, and purify your blood. And drink the fresh juices. So you know I've got tons of juices on YouTube. I got a whole bunch of online classes at regenerateyourlife.org. I've got this amazing new program which is blowing up, and people are loving it already. This is a 30-day Living Foods transformation program, and there's 100 juices in there. You ain't never going to get tired. Like I said, I mean, I actually drink watermelon with lemon, or every once in a while, maybe once a week, I'll have the purifier juice, which is like beet, carrot, celery, cucumber, and parsley, and that'll clean you out. Just every juice has a different kind of a frequency, but right now, what I do is I just go pure blood. My diet is pretty much basically coconut water and coconut water-based juices, and I live on liquids, literally. I know I'm like 155. I usually roll about 165, but right now I'm just going for clarity of consciousness, because I'm on a run here to get a lot of business handled, and I'm helping about 100 people with all kinds of different things, fixing cars and helping people lose weight, and helping with their pregnant women to get on the raw diet and stay on it and have a nice balanced raw diet. I'm running the delivery system. I make juice for everybody. And I keep this place clean and maintained, you know, as much as I can. I've got a lot of responsibilities around here too, and I try to keep in touch with like all my friends and stuff like that, so I'm super busy, and I just want to stay in that zone. So if you want to get your energy up, then the Living Foods is what it is. And I've done this road for 15 years, and the cleaner and clearer I get, and the lighter and cleaner and simpler I eat, and just getting to bed on time is key. Staying hydrated, absolutely key. Periodic water fasting from 1 to 3 to 7 days to tone up the system and go to another level. Did the master cleanse for 2 weeks. Totally went to the next level in every area of my life. Closed the doors on the crap that wasn't working. Opened the doors for miracles, for amazing things to happen, like calling in these amazing things that I've always dreamed of in my life but didn't feel quite worthy. But as I purify and look myself in the mirror and say, hey bro, you're actually okay, man. You're actually a really good person, and all you need to do is love yourself. You know what I mean? And then it starts being like, you know what, man, I really do have a good intention. I never meant to hurt anyone ever, you know what I'm saying? And I just need to clear my vision towards myself, which goes always back to the subconscious programming in childhood and all the bullcrap of society, which we're all trying to learn how to look through. And we should really support one another. I'm not trying to be dissupportive of everybody's trip, but I'm just saying I am pro living foods, because every cell in your body is alive, and if it's not, then it's cancer. And people are getting cancer and diabetes and Alzheimer's and autism, and the list goes on, and chronic fatigue and fibromyalgia, and people are tired and they have no energy. And I am telling you, it's like I have too much energy, but not really, because I just focus it in on all this stuff. And there's a lot of secrets that I have that I don't share yet, because I'm not sure the world is quite ready, you know what I mean? People are more into pleasure than they are to self-mastery. Let me tell you, the ultimate pleasure is when you are in control of your own energy and can direct it to what you want to direct it to, and you can hold that energy inside yourself and seal the gates and spend those early morning hours in meditation with the gates sealed. The eyes, the nose, the ears, the mouth, the reproductive organs, seal the gates and sit and feel the overflow of power that's inside of you, which is eternal. Because heaven is within you. It really is. Joy and heaven and awesomeness and ease and love is in you. It's already in you. It might be covered over by pain and abuse, neglect and disrespect and rejection. I get it. Believe me, I get it. But you are your own best friend. You are the one who's going to save yourself. You are the one that you've been looking for. And this world is waiting for you to step up, to believe in yourself enough that you can live the dream and you can allow that energy that is just dying to express itself through you and cleanse you out of all the lies, because the whole society is upside down and backwards. If society accepts it, question it big time, and go to all the wingnuts who actually look to nature, who look to the higher levels of consciousness for their truth and have no attachment to this world, because it's all just dust in the wind and the piece of paper on the wall and the adulation from the crowd, and 10,000 million billion zillion dollars in the bank don't mean diddly shit if you don't have the main thing that matters to you, which is your own self. And I know, because I went 42 years without it, and then I had all these circumstances happen that brought up all the childhood, the remaining childhood debris of the lack of lovability, and it totally transformed my entire heart. My heart opened up, and I went through this process, and I had several sleepless nights, but then it just cleared, and it opened, and it stayed open, and I'm like chilling with people now when I could barely sit still, because I couldn't stand to be with myself, because my heart was closed off. But then when it opened up, now I can just sit and listen to anyone. I don't care. There's nothing that anyone has that I want, and there's nowhere to go other than right here, right now. Now, I'm busy as I'll ever get out, and I got a million things to do, so please don't get in my way. But I'm just saying, like, when it comes time to chill with my homies or listen to someone, I'm just able to be there and be a more loving presence. Love is the answer for me. Love always was. And I never really felt it, but I knew in my mind and my consciousness and somewhere deep down in my soul that love was the answer. And I never gave up, and I was persistent. And I was like, I'm going to do whatever the hell I got to do. Fasting, cleansing, meditation, yoga, pay attention, learning, education, humility, surrender, development, and cultivation of divine virtues, and looking at myself. When I'm wrong, I'm like, you're wrong, dude, and you need to clean yourself up. You need to clean up your act, you need to clean up your mouth, you need to purify your lust, towards these amazingly beautiful women and get yourself right. And then once you get yourself right on that, because that was a tough one, was lust. I'm not saying I've perfected it, but I've come quantum leaps, you know, where you're not looking at things objectively, and you're taking that creative life force energy, which is the deepest, most primal energy, and you're recirculating it back into creativity and success instead of propagation of the species. It's a very fine, thin line. I don't think most humans are ever going to be able to get that, but you may be one of the few who understands that kind of thing. It's true for men and women. There's two different ways, but it never sits in the middle. It's either going out or it's going up the spine and into the brain. And I have taken many, many years to take it up and into the brain so that I could nourish the brain and have that creativity and have that connection and have that desire in my heart to connect with the deepest essence of life, which I call God. And I want to continue with all my heart to love that and share that with people, because if you start to learn to practice the art of devotion towards the one, the divine, then you're going to start seeing some big changes in your life. And if you stick with it and you're persistent, you will reap the rewards, because as the vase fills drop by drop, your heart will fill drop by drop as you are devoted each and every day. And your folly also will fill your vase drop by drop. So what are you filling your vase with? Foolishness, error, and sin, which means to miss the mark? Or are you filling it with devotion and service and cultivation of self-mastery over the flesh, which has the animal reptilian brain all the way up to the divine mind in the frontal lobe, which can look at nature and say, okay, I got this animal brain, but I can use this frontal lobe. I can use this frontal lobe and look at that reptilian brain and see it's not going to do anything but get me into trouble. I'm going to use the reptilian brain and I'm going to master it, and I'm going to master the flesh, and I'm going to use this as a temple to express the power of the living God that is within all of us. And it is the living life force, and it is the pure potential, and it is the quantum field, and it is the intergalactic essence of all that is. It is the starlight, and it is the power, and it is, you are the children of the light. We are the children of the light. We have to claim it and live that and love one another and continue to cultivate the light within, because then our cells will change, you will grow younger, and you will activate certain DNA potential that is totally dormant, and they being us collectively don't want us to know, because our light scares us. But it's not going to scare me, because I'm running into it, because that is all I see at the end of the trail, on the other side of the river, the path, the way into the light. Can I get an amen? Oh yeah, baby, green juice mukbang. And tomorrow it's going to be bee pollen mukbang. What's up? Maybe a papaya mukbang, cucumber mukbang. Oh yeah, baby, banana mukbang. Oh, that'd be a good one. Oranges. Huh.